Welcome everybody to another episode of Indie Increase, where we review Steam store pages and give you the best advice on how to market your game. I am Josh Blazer, and joining me, my co-host and friend Robert Leach. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. Busy as always. New microphone setup, so now I'm in audio paranoid mode to see how everything sounds.
Yeah. So far, so good.
All right. So for our episode this week, we're going to be taking a look at Transcendence. And as always, if you're a developer wanting us to look at your store page for a future show, please reach out. Again, you'll find information and links on the overlay and down below. So, I interviewed the developer for this one a few months ago at the time of this recording, and he is definitely passionate about this game. Like, this is his long-term, dream. This is the game that I want to make kind of project. And it has been in development now for, well, going to be going on 7 years in about 10 days from the time of this recording. So, he definitely doesn't show any times of stopping or anything like that. So, let's begin with the thumbnail. This is a tough one. I like, from a structural standpoint, I think it's well done. The words are easy to read. Whatever that image is kind of stands out and draws your eye. But this is the problem that, Rob and I were talking about before we started. It doesn't really, tell me anything about this game.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to tell once you look at all the other stuff that structure there in the middle is a spaceship. But in terms of traditional movies and TV and every drawing of a traditional spaceship, does not meet that descriptor. So you see Transcendence, which is a great title. You see this light drawing your eye and this cool thing that is a structure, but it's really tough to tell exactly what that is. There's nothing in the background saying space. The structure doesn't say space. But it's a very intriguing image, but really well put together. But again, it's missing that, like Josh says, what is this game?
And when I review these thumbnails, the two things I'm looking at are, is this catching my eye? And is this telling me about this game in some way, shape, or form? And I don't feel like this thumbnail is telling me about the game. It's capturing my eye, but one of the things I think about the space genre in general, that it's one of those that you're either all in or you're all out. And I feel like this is a thumbnail that is designed specifically for that audience, but not for a wider audience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm searching for this genre, that will make me click on it. It looks like a cool thing. It does. It makes the game look cool, and I'm going to check it out.
And I just noticed another little issue with this image / capsule. If you look at the descriptive text underneath it, there's so much text that it's going off the actual thing, you can't see it. Expansionist AIs and fearsome. We'll never know. So, this is one that, again, structurally, I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but I can't give it a super high grade for marketing or for the actual getting someone into it. So for me, I think I'm going to lean towards a C+.
Yeah, and I'm not too far away. I'm going B-. The image itself is aesthetically pleasing and it is attractive. It is something that I might click on just because. So I'm at a B-.
All right. Here is the trailer for the game. Again, the music pickup is really nice. It started with of course, the studio logo, which is not what we want to see. They're zooming in. like again, like what it's showing. The music pickup, like the escalation is good. I feel like the end text gets a little hard to make out. Like it's light blue on light background. So your journey now available on Steam. Yeah, like it's a good trailer, but there's definitely some, I think, like unforced fouls in it. So like the first one, again, like logo at the start, you don't need that, especially as a indie dev. And I think the trailer has a good pickup. Like it has a flow to it. I don't think that's something that we've seen in some of our like recent episodes that we've done, or at least the ones that Rob and I have done together.
Yeah. It does. It tells a great story, and by story I mean it does. It picks up slowly.
Mm-hmm.
The ship gets stronger over time. The enemies get crazier over time, and that's exactly what some of the knocks we've given in the past, where there doesn't seem to be any growth. So
Yeah,
while you're watching, you get that kind of feedback, and it's exciting.
yeah, like the fact that the music is actually like changing to match what goes on. Again, like that is a very nice touch, and it's something that you do want in your trailers. So the problem, one, I like it's right at a minute and a half, which again, like minute 20 is usually what we want to see from a trailer, minute 20 to minute 30. But this one feels like it's too long for the content that it's showing. Like I feel like each section could have probably been cut maybe 5 to 7 seconds, maybe up to 10 seconds, and that would probably bring this trailer down to maybe 50 seconds, a minute, and I think that would make it far more snappier.
Yeah, I agree with that. It hangs a lot on certain sections. The end does hang a little bit and adds probably a full 10 seconds to what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the one thing that got me at the end that I just noticed was the title disappears into the background. Most of the time, you kind of want it to go the opposite direction. Is
Yeah.
coming. And have that, because I think the readability, the legibility of it would be better if it came the other direction.
Yeah. And again, like this is one of those trailers, like, and this is going to be kind of like a theme for this review, that there's nothing I would say is like, oh my god, horrible. I must, downvote this into like an F range. But I feel like it's missing. Like there's like a few things that are like keep like death by a thousand cuts that are like taking it down like piece by piece. And
Yeah, I want to mention, and this is also a kind of a comment that's running for me. And I don't want to. This is going to come across as a knock, but it's a knock to the game. It's not. But it is a polish like kind of thing. The music itself, while it matches, and it does such a good job of matching the action of the music. The music actually emphasizes the genre, which is great. It almost sounds like the Star Trek intro at the very beginning, and I
mm-hmm.
really like that. But the problem I do have is that it has kind of a cheap sound to it. It sounds like an old Casio keyboard or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to sound like a knock. The music is good, but the quality of like instrumentation and level of quality in that regard is a little on the low side. So if you just redid the music with different samples, maybe that would really enhance things. It's hard to say. And then the video itself, I was watching it and there was something that also felt a little bit off to me. And upon further review, and you know what, I'll take that to the screenshots section. I'll
Mm-hmm.
go into more detail there.
All
But
right.
on the whole, I did like the video. I thought it did flow well. To me, there's a lot of bonus points there.
Mm-hmm.
With all those knocks, I gave it a B minus.
Mm-hmm. For me, I'm gonna give it a C plus. Like it's really on the edge. I think even just simply removing the logo at the start may bring it up to like a B minus for me. But it's just like it feels like it's just like on the cusp of being like a really solid trailer. It's just missing those aspects. And I do wonder, like in the grand scheme of the game dev, when this trailer was made in terms of, where the game is at now and when the trailer was actually first put together. Because I just wonder if things have grown or things have changed in any way, shape, or form to maybe warrant either recutting the trailer or showing off some new things in it. But this is very much, again, like this whole store page is clearly designed to be marketed towards the space sim, space 4X kind, or, grand exploration style genre. But I don't think, again, that it's going to reach beyond that.
Yeah, very much
Yeah.
agreed.
So again, my grade C plus, Rob's grade B minus. So let's go to the images. Now, one thing for sure is that while they certainly have a lot of images, in fact, they have 20, a lot of them are just copied from the trailer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are a couple new shots that either were in the trailer and didn't catch, but of the stores.
Mm-hmm.
There's one, I think the third slide. I think that's really good. Or the upgrading your ship. I want to see more ship upgrades. Honestly, more close-ups of enemies. But the screenshots from the video's got some interesting art. The individual pieces themselves are really nicely
Mm-hmm.
done. The one aspect I was referring to in the video that is enhanced a bit in the screenshots is that you'll notice on the different objects in view, there's different light sources. Like the shadows are on one side in one object and on the other side in another object, without there being like a central light source or something. Like it's all coming from off screen, but
Mm-hmm.
the shadows on each model seem to be tied to one side. Um, and that's
Yeah.
that's a tough one depending on how you developed it, what strategies you used in terms of lighting. So that may be one of those things that you can't fix. But it does
Yeah.
occur in those screenshots that is a detail I noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can really see it in screenshot 9, I think. Yeah. Again, like, the challenge of a game like this is that we can't grade this on graphics. Like this is not where we're reviewing how nice the game looks. We're just grading it on how well these images are marketing the game. And I
Mhm.
think part of the problem with the game, especially for a game that's space focus, is that a lot of these areas just look alike. Like they just look just like we're in the same exact places, and
Yeah.
that is unfortunately like kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like you can't really recreate or create new space, but a lot of them, because of the fact that your ship is always tracked to the center of the screen, it does look very similar in terms of of what's happening in some of these screenshots.
Yeah, and I know that this shows a lot of the gameplay
Mm-hmm.
in effect, but the models themselves look pretty nice, and featuring them a little bit more would be cool. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how honest it is to zoom in really far when you would never see that in game,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I really do like a lot of the graphics here. It showcases, like you say, it showcases a lot of care and detail.
Yeah.
Uh, the
So,
variety of enemies. Oh, go ahead. Go
oh
ahead.
no, I was just going to get to my grade. Finish your thought.
Oh, the variety of enemies that are mentioned later in the about this game section, wants like targets something in the game that I would like to see more of, and that is the
Mm-hmm.
variety. Because, like you say, in a space game, it's what are you going to do? The background's space.
Yeah. So I think for me, um, yeah, again, like there's nothing like wrong about these images, but they're not really selling. I think me on this game, or they're not really like selling beyond the market. Mm, I may be. I think with the lighting issue that you pointed out, and just the fact that so many of these are being repeated, I think I'm just going with a C for me.
Yeah, I agree with the C. There's a lot of good stuff, like you say, in every
Mm-hmm.
section, good stuff. But I liked the phrase "death by a thousand cuts." It describes the screenshot section to me perfectly. A lot of images are always good. They're repeated. They come from the video. That's not so great.
Yeah, and
But you know,
I
go
would
ahead.
also suggest, because I know that he does have, like, we'll get to this in the next section. There are expansions to this game. There's been updates in terms of new content, new things like that. This would be a good place to show them, because obviously the trailer was most likely done before expansions and new stuff. This could be where you could show off what's new or what you get with these expansions, and that would not only flesh out the screenshots, but could also give you a little bit more diversity between them.
Yeah, showcase front and center things that are spoken of later, which is to say, it is updated. There are new things coming out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's really attractive from any gamer. I feel like that the developer is constantly adding content. Like that's great and fixing bugs or whatever.
Yep.
But showing some of that new content would underline that, and that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So let's get to the about this game section. This will be a very quick one for an unfortunate reason as I scroll down. As you can see, we have no images and we have no GIFs. And as we've said, that is a huge no no when you're building an about this game page. So we just have a very big block of text. And to the point about marketing this game, if your game is built on customization, character progression, power, escalation, we need to see this. This could be where a GIF showing, you shooting a little shot and then you're shooting like, Kamehameha death lasers and missiles and all that would really pop here.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that kind of breaks my heart the most is when you see something like this, it feels like there isn't attention to detail here. It feels like this is kind of
Mm-hmm.
a second thought. But then you go to the website and you see that there's exactly this, but with all the things Josh mentions. There's
Mm-hmm.
screenshots, there's actually music. Like the website has so much care put into it.
Yep.
And you just take that kind of look and feel and put it here and you're done, and it'll look
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
Yep. And I'm going to his website right now. So you can see here we have far more images, we have a guidebook. Like, you can tell that the developer put a lot of stuff into his website. We have where you can buy the different expansions. We have, let me get back here really fast. There is even a Discord, and keep that in the back of your mind, because I'll be coming back to that in the next section. But we have so much information here on the page of a quick start guide. We have all his stuff. So I mean, clearly, again, like this is not a cheap operation or a fly by night kind of affair for this developer. But again, none of that is being translated here.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. There is so much care obviously put into this. And the website being one of those things that especially, in modern times, in the last several years, websites are going to bring you less traffic than, the Steam page. You just point someone to a Steam page or it happens
Mm-hmm.
upon their main page one of these days, you put it on a sale or something, then they're going to go here and this is their experience. They're not likely to go to the website because that's such a tertiary thing to explore. If you're really reading the text, if you're really into the video and stuff, then you might explore it. But if there's anything there to like dissuade someone from the game, they're going to click on the next button, on the recommended game feed or what have you.
Yeah, yeah, like the website. should funnel to the store page, not the store page to funnel to the website. And this is just, or I think I may have confused that. You want your store page to lead them to the website, but they're not going to go to your website to then go to your store page. Yeah. It feels like this is kind of like a cart before the horse scenario. And again, it's really a big shame, as taking some of the images, taking some of the stuff on that site and bringing it over here would dramatically improve this grade. But the problem is, from a grading perspective, as we said, if you have no images and no GIFs, you are immediately disqualified from even getting to the C range. Because without that, you're not really showing your game off. And again, that's the goal of your store page. So, for me, I'm going to just give it right, a immediate D. And I think that's where I'm going to stand.
Yeah, I'm a D minus. Just because of all that stuff and the website, like that's the one thing. It's like you took that step, just bring it over here. Show people you did take that step.
Yep. So let's get to the title card. So we have 3 tags: action, indie, RPG. Could probably use a single player or single here as well. That's one of the gimmies. Let me see. Does he have? Yeah. So there is no multiplayer like our last episode. So we don't need that here. So again, we have a website. We have a Twitch. We have a Twitter, YouTube. Twitch, he is active on there. Twitter as well. The YouTube has not been updated, and I think at this point it may not be the best to include. But one big point, if you remember a few minutes ago, I said he has a Discord. This is where you want to include the Discord, and you should also include the Discord in the About This Game section, especially if it's active and you use it for marketing and community purposes.
Yeah, one thing I loved about this section, though, this to me is what showcases more than anything else how much attention is put into here. Because there is a multimedia approach. There is the website. There is Twitch. There is Twitter. There was YouTube. The manual to me is like one of the most fantastic parts. You click on it because it's not something you see very often, and then you go to that website and there's music there, and the manual is feature rich. And just having a manual is just like underlining, hey man, this game's huge. You're gonna have a lot of content here to explore. Other things I like, 59 Steam achievements. I'm kind of a sucker for that. Each one having its own icon. That shows a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot going on here that's like, yeah, this guy's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I
mean, over. Yeah.
It is a good title card. Like, I don't think it does like above and beyond for me. But again, like mentioning the Discord would be good. Maybe one more tag. Yeah, like again, like he seems like he is very active, and it just feels like some of the store page was kind of left, to the wayside. So grade for me. Again, like I'm having a tough time like figuring like how high to go, despite the issues that we see. So I feel like the fact that he has a Discord but it's not mentioned here is enough to knock it out of the A range. But there is a lot of information. Again, he's very active on Twitch and Twitter. The website is good. Which, again, like we're not grading the website. That's just kind of like an extra thing. I'm going to give it a B+, I think, for this title card.
Yeah, and maybe it's that I'm hungry for an A. There's not often times I get to do it, so I'm giving this an A-. I don't often see this much stuff in this section. So I'm glad to see all of that stuff there.
One of these days, hopefully, Rob will get to see like an old A or S page. Come on, people, you gotta send us some good stuff. You gotta make Rob happy. So, overall grade. So, looking at my notes, so trailer, I started at C plus. Rob started at B minus. The worst thing about this was the about page, which is important. The best thing we gave him was the title card, which is the least important. So I feel like for me, there's not enough here to move the grade either up or down. So I feel like I don't know, like I'm just thinking about the about section. I feel like it is such a like a cement block, like just like weighing this whole page down at the moment. I think I may slightly lower my grade to C plus. Like I don't feel it deserves lower, but I feel like the lack of the about this page or about this game does hurt this page. I feel like I need to at least give it some penalty for it.
Yeah, and I do want to say with this particular page, there's a lot going for it, but the about this game, I agree, brings it down quite a bit. I still think it's going to be in the above average category. I'm giving it a C plus. And I do want to say to the developer, you are very active. It's obvious put a lot of care into this game, and that it is, I want to emphasize, above average. I've pretty much everything I've seen does not reach that status, but being active, you can pour a lot of that stuff into the page now and just showcase to people who might come across this new, or when you have another update and this will pop up on people's pages. Yeah, have it there, and people will be, you'll probably see some more turnover in your sales, I hope.
Yeah. And again, like, for the issues we have, they're not huge, oh my goodness, it's going to take me years and years to fix these pages. Again, simply just adding images and GIFs to the About This Game section would bump my grade up easily back up to C plus, maybe even a B minus. But it is one of those things where this game is clearly being marketed to a very specific audience. And if that audience is not finding your game for whatever reason, you're not getting anyone else. Like this page is not going to attract someone who's not already, 100% invested in the genre. And unfortunately, we can kind of see that by the low reviews. He's at very positive, but he only has 136 reviews for a game that's 7 years old.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but we can get that number up, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, with that said, we're going to wrap things up for our episode. So, thank you to the developer for submitting this game. Again, if you'd like us to go to your game in the future, please reach out. And if you want to follow me and do all that, liking, subscribing, commenting, and you can check me out on my links up there, down below, send me a message, join the Discord, all that good stuff. And what about you, Rob?
My website, as of right now, is an F grade, 4gr.games, but by the time this is posted, it'll look way nicer. And my YouTube channel is currently empty, but again, hopefully by the time this posts, I'll have a couple of my games videos that's 4th Gen Robot on YouTube.
Sounds good. So with that said, we'll end things for this week's episode. As always, come back for daily discussions on game design here, and on game wisdom, where some of the art and science of games. And until our next show, have a great night.